water doesn't look very appealing. Age 60, wrecked near this place on today I'm in the village of Rhoscolyn in the county of Ynys Môn in Wales. I'm going to be visiting St Gwenfaen's Churchyard. There's a memorial in the churchyard for a number of lifeboatmen who drowned during a daring rescue attempt in 1920. There's also a very old well nearby which is extremely well preserved. There's a sign there saying that the church is actually open today. Catherine, daughter of William and J. Williams, the one who died to Jesus November 10th, 1864 at 7 years old. Also William Williams, the one who died March 18th, 1866 at 27 years old. Let's have a look inside. Oh, look at this door. Oh, here's the real door. There's been a church on this site since the year 630 AD. The current building dates from 1875 and it was constructed in a Gothic revival style. I understand that there's a fine 20th century memorial made out of copper in Art Nouveau style to a former rector of the church. So I'll just try and find that. That's this one over here, in memory of the rector John Hopkins. And he died in 1901. Let's go and see the memorial that I mentioned earlier. The memorial was constructed to remember the Rhoscolyn Lifeboat Disaster of 1920, which involved the lifeboats named Ramon Cabrera. While the original Ramon Cabrera was a Spanish general, this lifeboat was named in his honour because his widow, the Countess of Morella, donated the funds for the lifeboat, which was stationed here at Rhoscolyn. The tragedy occurred on the 3rd of December 1920 during a violent storm in Carnarvon Bay. The lifeboat was launched to assist a steamer called Timpo, which was in distress. The lifeboat's crew rowed for 2 hours to reach the Timpo, and they made several failed attempts to establish a line to the ship. During the rescue attempt, a giant wave struck the lifeboats, and 2 members of the crew were immediately washed overboard. Although the boat was a self-righting model and eventually flipped back over, 5 crewmen drowned in the freezing water. The only crew member to survive was Edward Hughes, and 2 of his sons drowned during the incident. I was expecting just to see a memorial here, but the graves of the sailors who drowned are here as well. Evan Hughes and Richard Hughes must have been brothers. Evan Hughes was 31 years old and his brother Richard was only 17. The tragedy effectively led to the eventual closure of Rhoscolyn Lifeboat Station in 1929, as the community was too small to recover from the loss of so many of its men. Wow! Massive Hercules jet just flew over. I don't know if the camera did it justice to just how low it was. Well, that broke the silence for a while. A little bit of excitement. In fond remembrance of Sarah, dear bride of Hugh Parry, to Millbank, Caergybi, the one who died November 3rd, 1907, at 29 years old. Also, Sarah, the dear child, the one who died November 15th, 1907, at a month old. So, only 12 days after the mother, the little girl died. This tree was planted in the memory of a John A. Riley, who died in 1982, and his wife Mona, who died in 2005. Very simple headstone, G and O. Someone's left a plastic flower there. They've done the same for this simple grave here. JRC. In memory of E.W. Felinheli Caergybi, who died May 14th, 1851 at 9 years old. I thought there was another Hercules jet coming, but it's just a regular warplane. Grave of a sailor here in memory of Richard Penn Hornwood, master of the schooner Cwm Avon. Also Samuel Gregory, his mate, both of the same place, who drowned with all their crew on the 12th of April and were picked up and buried on the 27th of May 1871 in Rhoscolyn Churchyard. Beloved in life, lamented in death. So, two sailors. I've mentioned it before in a previous video. It used to be a custom around these parts, possibly throughout the UK actually, if a body washed up on a beach somewhere. It was the responsibility of that parish to bury the deceased. There's actually another sailor right next to them here, in memory of John Smith, master of the ship Franconia of Baltimore. Is that Baltimore in the US then, I guess? Age 60, wrecked near this place on the 12th day of January 1851. The ship was travelling from the United States to Liverpool when it was shipwrecked. Out of the 21 crew members, 11 members of the crew drowned. It pays to have a good look around or you miss these things. In memory of John Thomas Dinas Goch Rhoscolyn, the one who died June 29th, 1872 at 83 years old. Here rests Patrick Abercrombie. Sir Patrick Abercrombie, 6th of June 1879 until 23rd of March 1957. He was a prominent architect and town planner. Early in his career he won a competition to redesign Dublin city centre. He planned the reconstruction of London, Plymouth and Hull after the Second World War. He consulted on the layout of Hong Kong and Addis Ababa. And he was actually the inventor of the Green Belt, the permanent ring of countryside where building is forbidden. His most famous work was the 1944 Greater London Plan, where he proposed moving 1.25 million people out of the crowded inner city into 8 brand new satellite towns including Stevenage and Harlow. He had a house in Rhoscolyn in which he constructed himself, and that's why he's buried in the village. They've actually repaired this headstone, which had been split in two. Look at that. Piece of metal, I guess, in there. In memory of Hugh Hughes, who died in 1885 at the age of 35. There's got to be stuff that I've missed. If I have, let me know, and if there's enough, I'll come back here. It's a bit of a trek to get to the well from the church. I think it should be down here somewhere. Stepping stones. And here's St Gwenfaen's well. It's an early medieval holy well, so it's over 1,000 years old. And it's remarkably well preserved. The water doesn't look very appealing though. Very muddy down there. The legend goes that St Gwenvine was chased away from here, either by Vikings or Druids. It's tradition to throw 2 white pebbles into the well. People used to believe that the water was a good cure for melancholy, but this was a misunderstanding of a famous poem. In the poem, the poet was referring to the walk along the headland here as a cure for melancholy, not the actual well water.
Had a few kids, bought a new house, promised you heaven but it never did work out. Got a new job and moved uptown. I bought you everything, you never questioned why. All this time I waited for a season where everything felt right. All the different phases and the reasons to make it all worthwhile. My best